Welcome back to Pinching Pennies with me, Rhonda. In today's video, I'm decorating for fall, but it's not the normal fall decorating. This year, I'm decorating with dark academia decor. But before I went antiquing for my decorations that you just saw, I went on YouTube to see how to decorate with dark academia. I didn't even know what to look for. And I found this girl. She is all about the dark academia decor. She explained everything perfectly to me and gave me great insights on what to look for when I'm thrifting and antiquing. While I'm antiquing, I'll try to explain what I learned. Dark academia actually came from literature. It's from a book, actually. So it's very appropriate to look for books if you're decorating in this style. And the nicer looking ones like these, I think, are really cool. Tarnished brass goes very well with this decorating style, as well as copper. These tones are rich, and that's what you're looking for. Look for ornate things. Now, this is a gigantuan ornate mirror. Just look at the size. That's crazy. But, oh, what a statement that would be if someone had a gigantic room and imagine the wall painted a darker color behind it, how that thing would pop. This right here might have been my very first purchase, these two brass pots. I'm going to pause right here to explain something. I believe there are at least 2 or 3 different paths you can go down when decorating with dark academia in mind. There is the Gothic path, and in that style, I believe you would be looking for decor that would have more dark images like skulls and roses and more dark imagery. Then you can also go the cottagecore path where it's more whimsical, and so you would be looking for decorations like this platter here. And you can incorporate cute little woodsy animals and things like this. And lots of outdoorsy garden type stuff. And the third path is light academia. So it's just dark academia but neutral colors. So decorating with books and wood pieces and the brass all would fit in here. Now each one of those paths I mentioned is a style all by itself, but you can mix and match them all together with dark academia to make your own personalized style. Which is great because if you want to play around with dark academia decor but you don't want to go all in and paint your walls all dark color or something, you can do light academia and get the same feels. And honest to goodness, this was the most fun I ever had putting together a themed decor idea. I just loved hunting for all this old world stuff. And I say this lamp right here was the coolest thing I found that day. I didn't buy it, but oh my gosh, how neat. And you know me, I am going for the cheapest of the cheap stuff, but I had quite a haul. And here it is in all its glory. Everything I bought to do this living room makeover scattered out on my kitchen island, and a cat that wanted to help me make curtains. Okay, so we're going to get started with the projects first. I'm going to DIY, do my crafting and curtain making, and then I will decorate and show you the big reveal at the end. And this is a mantle clock that isn't worth anything. It's a $10 clock I paid for, and so I'm going to take the clock part out of it and make it a cool decoration. I separated the clock from the covering and saved the clock for another project. Now I'm going to take an old picture and put where the clock was, and we're going to paint that mantle clock another color so it's all going to match our theme. But first, let me tell you about this photo album. I picked this up a couple of years ago at the Vienna Antique Store, and that's Vienna, Illinois. So if anyone knows Jane Burnham, the family of Jane Burnham, anyone, if it's your grandma, your great-grandma, I would love to know. Please give me a comment down below because The people in this book look like they had so much fun. It looks like Jane had a friend named Edith and they hung out all the time. And there was another girl that come over a lot, it looks like. And I absolutely adore these pictures. And if anyone has any information about any of the people in these pictures, please give me a comment. It would be so cool to hear. If no one ever claims this book, then I will keep it and cherish it forever. So when I picked out a picture, I wanted to pick out one that Jane looked like she was having the most fun. And it looked like they had taken a little trip to a lake, her and her friends, and she's playing in a canoe. So that is the picture that I chose to go in the old mantle clock. Now, this is a really simple project. Just paint your old mantle clock with some chalk paint. I'm using black chalk paint. Then apply some gold rub and buff. I just used my fingers. It'll wash right off with Dawn. So don't worry about it getting stuck on you permanently. But it is the perfect thing to make the details pop. My picture wasn't quite wide enough to go in. Ooh, it was so close. So I had to make it just a little tad bigger. So I have this old paper that I've saved. It's just about the same color, and I'm gonna use it as sort of a backing to make this bigger so that I can cut out a nice circle to go inside of the cover piece. That was hard to explain. I hope it all made sense. Here I'm using an Elmer's glue stick on the back of the picture so that it can stick to the bigger piece of paper that I've cut out to make it large enough for a full circle to be cut out. Now, does that make sense? Then finally cut out the picture. Then use hot glue if needed to reassemble the cover piece back into this ring here and put your picture in. And I used E6000 or Fix-All adhesive to glue this back in place. And here's one little sneaky peeky. This is one curtain panel that I thrifted for $1. It came with 2 tie backs. And it's Waverly, and it looks like it was made to be sold in Target. You can't get it anymore. I looked, that was the first thing, because I needed 3 more of these. I have 2 windows in my living room that I want covered, and so I need 4 panels, and I only have 1. So what am I going to do? I make Franken curtains is what I do. I believe the true decorator term is color block curtains, but the idea is one half of the curtain will be the pretty material that I like, and the other half will just be solid black curtain. These came from the Family Dollar store and they were $13.99 a set. So I split my Waverly curtain panel into 4 equal pieces. I know they don't look equal because they're draped off the sides, but 4 equal pieces. And I'm going to sew the Waverly piece right underneath the header of the black piece. So right at the top, under where the curtain rod would go. That's where I'm going to sew this on the top. I also hemmed the raw edges that went down the sides of the Waverly panel that I cut, and I used a sewing machine. Yay for me, I'm learning a sewing machine. That was generously given to me by my mother-in-law, so thank you. I'm learning. So here I'm just toying around with ideas, adding lace and stuff, and ultimately I decided not to use the lace, that kind of went more country and farmhouse that I'm used to. So I'm going a whole nother route, and I did not use the lace. Keep watching to see what they look like with my lace curtain panels though. So these are the lamps that I thrifted. They were $12.50 a piece. I thought they were hideous. I thought they were perfect for taking that lampshade and tearing it apart and making it what I wanted. However, I always look up, I Google before I tear anything apart. And this lamp, for whatever reason, is worth a little bit of money. So I can't tear that shade up now. So then I had to go and thrift some other shades that I would feel perfectly fine with destroying if I needed to. But this actually turns out very well. So my plan is to paint my lamp shades, and I was just going to use the apple barrel paint from Walmart, but then I remembered I had this fusion paint. So, and I thought because it's mineral paint, for whatever reason, it might go into the fabric better. But I really believe that any craft paint would work for this. So I've done it with chalk paint before even. So I'm going with this midnight blue fusion paint because I already had it on hand, and I did use water. So sometimes I think when you're painting on fabric, you need to wet the material a little so that the paint gets into the fibers better. So that's what I wound up having to do here. So at first I tried it with just paint alone, and I saw that it wasn't going to spread as well as I wanted it to. So then ever after that, I dipped the brush into the paint and then in water, and I tried to let some of the water drain off. I didn't go plunk into the water and then right onto the lampshade because that would be a mess. So this method really does work. You can paint your lampshades. I will note that it does make the lamplight a lot dimmer when you paint them a dark color like this, so you might want a brighter light bulb. And mine might be darker too because I had to paint the inside of the lampshades as well. Before I've just had to paint the outsides, but on this particular shade it did bleed through, so I had to paint the inside as well. Now on to the big artwork. I'm doing a gallery wall. It's my first time ever making one. I thrifted, or I antiqued these frames for 50 cents a piece, and I'm making my own artwork to go in the frames. So I've been messing around with Canva's AI program to make artwork, and it's a whole lot of fun. I just put in what I want the picture to look like. It comes out sometimes wonky and sometimes not, but it is a really fun program to play around with. And then I print them out at Walgreens, and then I put them in the frames. The embroidery hoops at the bottom didn't get into the gallery wall because I didn't have time to find just the right thing that I wanted to go in them. So they were replaced by a really cool antique item. And this is the wall that I'm doing the gallery wall on. It had a bunch of nail holes and nails in it, and so I am avoiding all that. I had to repatch all that and paint, and this time I'm using command strips. Next, I needed something to go over my mantle where my farmhouse clock was, and I chose this really large painting. However, it was a little too light and bright and spring, so I checked, I googled, I made sure this painting is no significant value. It was initially 60 bucks. I paid $24. And so therefore I felt it okay to go ahead and make it the style that I needed it to be. And basically I just swirled around black, green, and gray to make a dark background around these flowers. I didn't worry about it too much if I painted over something by accident, because if the paint is still wet, you can still wipe it off with a damp wash rag. So it was no problem to clean up messes, and I just went along painting the whole background a dark kind of mystical color. Okay, so now I know this looks bad. Just wait, because this is something that I just learned, and it was by accident, of course. I went to wipe away something I didn't mean to paint on, and my wash rag got where it didn't need to go and drug. And I kind of liked that distressed effect. It looks like, I don't know, like this painting is really old and scratched up, I guess. And then I drug just the tiniest bit of that black paint down over the flowers, and I liked it even better. It blended it in. And that was not with any fresh paint. That was just dragging my damp washcloth across the black paint that was already on there. And then I went back and fixed up some places that I got too much distressed happy, or that was actually the blob that started this whole thing. Now with this restyling, I think this painting goes a lot better with what we've got going on here. Now on to florals. These are stems that I got at the Dollar Tree in spring, and I love them, but I'm gonna paint them. So I'm painting, I've done this trick like twice before already. I'm gonna try my luck a third time. I'm gonna paint these stems with some nutmeg spray paint. And I'm sure that Dollar Tree will come out with a better version next spring, so I'm not worried about replacing these. And I did splurge on a couple of Hobby Lobby stems. They were 40% off, so 40% off of $12.99. I got two of these. And I nearly forgot, I have to fix my little deer. I paid a quarter for both of these, and they have some chips, but I'm gonna fix them right up with some paint. The crafting part is done, and now it's time to decorate. And this is a box of some of the stuff that I got at the antique store. These butterflies are gonna set this whole thing off. Here is how the corner turned out. It's now my favorite corner in the whole entire house. And my machine sewn Franken curtains, I love them. The only advice I can give on a gallery wall, I guess, is just to play around with the positions of everything involved and use more than just pictures. And maybe having this special little nook in my house might inspire me to sit and play my piano more. I feel like this kind of fall decorating is just what I needed this year. Something to go out and have fun looking for, not stress over if things are matching. And you can mix the new with the old, just as long as it's all the same color palette. I wanted to bring in a little bit of light on top of my TV cabinet, so I'm using some book pages and I'm gonna scatter them out like a table runner. I think that these book pages are taking the place of fall leaves in my mind. And then I placed all my antique treasures on top. These are Southern Living spoon rests I got for 50 cents, and I don't care that they're a kitchen item. They're gonna be in my living room. And the darling whimsical butterflies that started kind of this whole thing in my mind of taking the dark academia to a more cottage core way. And I still don't like the word cottage core. This tray I'm going to use on my coffee table. This old decanter was only $5, but boy, does it make me feel sophisticated in my own living room. Chessboards, that's another thing to look for, especially this wooden one I just love. So that's my take on making over my living room as dark academia. It's going to continue to be this way until Christmas. This is going to serve as my Halloween decor, but don't worry, I'm still going to have my Halloween DIYs. I'm going to make them especially cool this year for you. Now for the 5 off 25 plan for Saturday, good only August the 17th. Here's the shopping list. You can screenshot it now. We have $6 off when you buy 2 of the participating Mr. Clean products. So buy the $6 concentrated cleaner and the $6 pack of magic erasers, and you're going to get $6 off, making one of them free. We have $6 off when we buy 2 of the participating game products. So buy 1 pack of the Game Flings for $4.50 and the box of dryer sheets for $4.50. And lastly, we have $3 off a pack of Venus razors. Make sure you have your 5 off 25 clipped, and here's the breakdown. We have $28.50 worth of products and $20 in coupons, leaving only $8.50 to pay at the register. So good luck, I hope you score. And now for today's 2 minutes of calm. There was a heat lightning storm going on at my house one evening. I went out and recorded it for y'all, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you back here again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're digging what I'm doing.